What's up, YouTube? What's up? Forgive me for being a couple of days late on this. And I don't, I forgot about the date, but it may have been the greatest fight I ever saw in the shortest time period with Thomas Hitman Hearns against Marvin Hagler. And Hearns was my dog. I was a huge Hearns fan. I don't clap for him politically, but as a fighter, that was my man. And he had the Jerry curling legs and all going against Hagler. That was a boxing match. They went at it for three of the best rounds I've ever seen, ever. And I do mean ever, because it was a survival of the fittest. It was nothing but fist flying, willpower, and who could be the last man standing. And they pounded on each other and they went at it. It's hard to believe that's been 40 years ago. I remember that fight just like yesterday. Remember Hagler had that straight curl. That thing had one big bounce, and drips was flying, and Hagler was tagging, and he was tagging Hagler, and it looked like the fight was gonna be stopped in the second round. But then Hearns, because his legs buckled, that was the only thing against Hearns back then. Because if you could stand them punches, good luck with that. He could get him with his legs. That's how Sugar Ray got over the first time. He shouldn't have gotten the second time. Hearns beat him clearly. And it should have been a draw the first time, but that's another story, another video. But with Hearns, it was only because of the legs, is why, because his punching power was no joke. These guys went at it. It was an epic fight. I don't use that word lightly, and I don't say it often, so don't expect that to come out of my mouth. But that was an epic fight. That's back when fighting boxing matches mattered. It was a great time to grow up when middleweight fighters were the end all be all, because the heavyweight division had gotten watered down. After Mike Tyson took over, he was dominant, but post Larry Holmes Tyson, it was not a lot to get excited about until Holyfield, and that came on a little bit later, Lennox Lewis. But heavyweights was kind of in the doldrums. It was one man wrecking crew. But in the middleweight, with Hearns, Hagler, Duran, Leonard, and maybe sometimes Wilfred Benitez and a couple others, you guys do. You knew it was gonna be showtime. Get your popcorn. There was a lot going on, and bragging rights amongst the big four. Cause that era of the big four in boxing is kind of like how I look at the equivalent to the big four in men's tennis with Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, and Murray. Cause them four were like they could win, and they were like, and sometimes when you have like these, one of the things that people like is beyond just a rival. They like where you got two sets where you could sit there and say, oh, this could be this and that. And we had it like that back then. We had it like that back then, you know. So if you were a Hagler fan, you love his physicality. If you love Sugar Ray's finesse, timing, if you love Hearns straight to getting to you, taking you out, headhunt, and if you love Duran's body shots, you had something for everyone. All four of them gave you something. But this fight here was like, whoa, this was like Knuckle City. It was like, hey, last, if you make it, bless your soul. But we throwing them haymakers. That was a boxing match. That's when it was like I said, three of the greatest rounds I've ever seen. Usually I don't like short fights because I remember having the Mike Tyson food parties back in the day, and that mess would be over before you could even put something on the table, before you barely put your sandwich on a plate and had a couple of chips, it was over. But this fight, you sat down, instantaneous action. It's like touch gloves, come out fighting. When the bell rang, they was going at it. It was Knuckle City. That's one of the greatest fights I ever seen. Two of the greatest champions, and Miss Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler was one of the toughest guys. He did get robbed by Sugar Ray Leonard in that fight. Everybody knows Sugar Ray got it on style points, and them judges got bought and paid. It ain't the first time, but that's part of the selling jersey, selling your persona. That is part of boxing. It is a modeling industry. They don't just have the models hold the number of the rounds out. They also have models that box too, because it's a popularity contest too. What I liked about this fight, no holds barred, all things go. It was Fist City. That was a boxing match. That was a boxing match for the ages. And I wouldn't even mind if it had been a part two, but I don't know if they could have topped that. I mean, that was nonstop jabs going for 3 rounds. Amazing. Of course, Hagler won, and I was sad, but hey, I had to tip. Got to respect Hagler because hey, he if he don't hold on, that could have been it. Anybody else, they done in the first round. That's how them punches was coming. If you remember the fight, let me know what your thoughts were, who you rooted for, and what you think about it. And I do think it's one of the 5 or 10 greatest fights ever. ever. For me, it's top 5 or 6. But let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. And hit the membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.